So here we are. This Sunday marks a quarter of Eagles football. 1 month of watching the Eagles play, and we yet to get a victory. Will we win Sunday night against the 49ers? What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you are new to the channel and love talking Philly sports every single day, go right ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on post notifications so you know when I go live or drop some content. On that note, if you believe the Eagles are desperate for a win, and with all this negativity around the Eagles, a win could start to change that. Smash that like button. With all that being said, let's jump into the Eagles vs. Niners preview on Sunday Night Football. So we got the Philadelphia Eagles coming into this game at 0-2-1, taking on the 2-1 San Francisco 49ers. Now, as we both know, both these teams are destroyed with injuries. So let's go over the injury report for both teams before we get into what we got to do to beat the Niners, how they want to play us, and we're going to break down some Nick Mullens tape. Let's get to the injury report. For the 49ers, Garoppolo, Mostert, Ford, Mosley, Greenlaw, Witherspoon, and out for the year we know Bosa, Sherman, and Solomon Thomas. For the Eagles, Djax, Maddox, Trevor Williams, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Alshon Jeffrey. Well, there you go. Both teams' injury reports are heavy. They both got a lot of guys out. I will say this, some of these Eagles guys I do believe will play, but how impactful and how much are we going to limit a guy like Miles Sanders, who I believe is the key to getting this offense going. But before we get into what we got to do on offense and defense to beat the San Francisco 49ers and how they're going to attack us, let's look at some film and break down some Nick Mullens tape, because Jimmy G didn't practice today, and I do believe we're going to get Nick Mullens, who had a pretty good game against the Giants and the Jets. But again, it's the Giants and the Jets. Roll the tape. On this play, you're going to see Nick Mullens motion a receiver to the right side, and here you got a stack bunch. The middle receiver is going to go vertically up the seam. The outside one's going to do an out route. The inside one's going to do an in route. And the receiver on the end is going to run a dig route. Now, the Giants play this good with they drop back in zone, and the outside corner follows his receiver to get a nice pass deflection as the pressure almost got to him. But now on this play, the tight end is going to run a comeback route. Now, this is the third string tight end. When we go against them Sunday night, George Kittle will be there. So if Mullens gets the ball out of his hands fast to his playmakers like the receivers and or Kittle, we cannot allow him to break tackles and run for big chunk yards. Here you got the Niners motioning a tight end, and they got a running back and a fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, in the backfield. And this is where they just block really good. You got the third string tight end and Kyle Juszczyk going to seal a wall off, and the running back's going to have a beautiful lane. They just beat the two end defenders for the New York Giants. Watch again, Kyle Juszczyk and the third string tight end. And when this is Kittle, it's going to be worse. Just walling it off. Perfect blocking, and they get chunk yards. But this is where Kyle Shanahan gets really creative. He's going to motion the receiver to the right. They're in the I formation with Kyle Juszczyk. Now here we go. The left tackle and the tight end are going to take the guys right in front of them, and they're going to pull the left guard all the way to the outside, and they're going to lead with Kyle Juszczyk. And the guy is going to run right between Kyle Juszczyk and the left guard for a touchdown. Watch the replay. Here we go. You got the left guard that pull, Kyle Juszczyk. It's a small hole, but the running backs know how to get in between the cracks, and it's a touchdown. Here we go with more creativity. The receiver's going to motion to the right and also help block, but here we go. Kyle Juszczyk with the arrow pointing at him is going to fake like he's blocking left. The running back's going to fake like he's getting the ball, and they're going to give it to Brandon Ayuk on the end around. Now, the two linemen I got circled are going to sneak out and help block. So Brandon Ayuk, open space, got 1, 2, 3 blockers, and mind you, one of them is nasty Kyle Juszczyk. So he's just going to chip, and Brandon Ayuk is going to be able to walk in this touchdown. Look at the replay. After they fake one way with Kyle Juszczyk, they got all this open field. Creativity at its finest. Okay, because we just saw that, let's stick with the offense for the San Francisco 49ers and the defense for the Philadelphia Eagles. When I look at this San Francisco 49ers offense, it's all predicated off the run game. They want to run the ball, set up play action, a lot of misdirection. They will use the receivers, whether it be Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuels, who's back to run the ball. They'll do trick plays with Kittle and also use check. Use check is important because they can get into some heavy personnel, some fullback I formations type, which makes you think they're going to run it, and they will pass because Kittle and use check are big package players who can block really good, but also run routes and catch balls and break tackles. So you got to keep your heads right with that. No looking in the backfield because Juszczyk will show different things and so will Kittle. So you really don't know when they're going to pass and run because the same formation, they can do many different things out of it. As for their quarterback, Nick Mullins, he's not going to scare you with his legs or with his arm, but he's been in this system under Kyle Shanahan for a while and definitely can run the full offense. But what they want to do, like I said, after the run game, they want to hit you with play action and get the ball out of his hand quick. Guys like Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuels, Juszczyk, Kittle, who can catch a 5-yard pass and break tackles and get a lot of yards after the catch. They really don't ask their quarterback to do too much with the run game and the yards after the catch from the receivers, but he will take one over the top every once in a while, and especially in the middle of the field with his tight ends or his receivers. That's where they like to do it. Now, as you've seen in the clip, he will hold the ball longer and try to take that hit, and that's where the D-line has to get home. The Giants got some pressure on Nick Mullins, but they blitzed a lot. And when you get him off his mark, out of his rhythm, he will throw some questionable passes. Now, he fit a nice one in there to Brandon Ayuk, standing in there strong. Like I said, he will make some good passes, but if you fluster him, he has a tendency to throw an interception. He got away with 2 against the Giants, didn't throw it, and also got picked off by the Jets in the limited time he played. So, it's rhythm passes, using the run game, as you've seen back-to-back runs for Jerick McKinnon, running it pretty good. And who was the lead blocker on both them runs? Kyle Juszczyk. He blocked from the shotgun and he blocked from the I formation. So we have to check Juszczyk. Whenever he's in the game, he's going to chip somebody. He's going to block. A very physical fullback who will run down the field and block and do a lot of things. And if you also notice, on the touchdown by Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver reverse, who was the lead blocker as well? Kyle Juszczyk. He faked one way, the defense went that way, and he was the lead blocker for Brandon Ayuk. So on the shotgun run, the I formation run, and even the end around, Kyle Juszczyk is there chipping anybody up who gets in his way. So that means for the defense, we have to continue that dominant D-line pressure that we saw against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Niners' offensive line is better than the Cincinnati Bengals line. And a guy like Darius Slay, who's playing lights out in man-to-man coverage, watch Nick Mullins. He will throw the ball soon. So I know you're playing man coverage and it's hard to get picks in man coverage because your back's towards them, but be prepared for the ball. And I think Jim Schwartz will come out with some zones so our corners can keep our eyes on Nick Mullins and jump the routes because he will try to fit some balls in places he shouldn't when he's not getting these quick timing slants and out routes to his receivers and tight ends. They also like to use the screen game, kind of like the Eagles. They did it a lot against the Giants. But again, the Eagles D-line has to set the tempo of this game. Corners can't be scared to get beat. We got guys like Marcus Epps, Jalen Mills, Ronnie McLeod, who's been floating around in big nickel. But it all comes back to stopping the run. You stop the run. You make Nick Mullins settle for 3rd and long, 2nd and longs. They got to get in shotguns. The D-line can pin their ears back and get at the quarterback. And that's when he starts to get flusters. As you see, some 2nd and 13, some 3rd and 7s. We can't give them manageable 3rd downs because a guy like Nick Mullins in a system for so long, Kyle Shanahan, being the brainiac he is, will carve us up with misdirection, play action, bootlegs, and stuff of that sort. So the D-line sets a tempo, and we got to stop the run. We got to stop the run. I don't care if we have to bring safeties in the box because, like I said, he'll make smart throws, but I'm not scared of his arm. And by any means, make sure somebody is bracketing George Kittle do not let him get matched up with Nathan Gary one-on-one, because that's most likely a touchdown no matter where they are on the field. So that's what I think about that. Now to switch over to the Eagles offense versus the 49ers defense, well, like I said, no Sullivan Thomas, maybe no D Ford, no Nick Bosa, no Richard Sherman, maybe Emmanuel Mosley. I mean, they were able to rattle the New York Giants. But again, it's the New York Giants. I'm not saying we're so much better because we're only a tie different from the New York Giants, but I do see a lot of holes in this defense. Again, well coached, going to play discipline, still want to fly around. They will be home. They won't have fans, but they will at least be at their spot in the West Coast. We got to travel. So with Carson Wentz struggling, I believe he has to turn it around sooner rather than later, and it starts Sunday night. I mean, the national media, some of our own fans, and rightfully so, are killing Carson Wentz. We got to hang in there because I do believe he will turn it around. Like I keep saying, the body of work has been bigger for me to jump off ship. This is a horrible 3-game slate, and it's costing us games, but he will get it back. A win can go a long way. So Sunday night, the media will be watching. Eagle fans will be watching. The division will be watching. The whole world will be watching. And this is the perfect game for Carson to come out of his slump. I honestly think people still respect the Niners defense. It's a beatable defense, and I think we're going to see it now. With Miles Sanders being limited, I hope we can rely on the run game to get it going so Carson Wentz has stuff to work with. And really, he's going to have to get out this slump this game in front of the whole world with who at wide receiver. Because today is only Thursday, but the only receiver that practiced for the Philadelphia Eagles on the 53-man roster is Greg Ward Jr. So maybe Fulgham might have to get some run. Deontay Burnett might have to get some run. We might have to call up old Jordan Matthews to get some run. I'm just kidding. But like I said, I do think Deshaun's going to try to give it a go. I don't know about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. John Hightower is going to play. He had an illness, and we might see a contribution for Quez Watkins. So even though his targets are limited, national TV, spotlights on you, Carson. Must-win game against the San Francisco IRs. We have to pull this out. You cannot let Nick Mullins, with a bunch of injuries, beat you in a game where the whole world's watching. So this is one of these make-or-break games for Carson Wentz and this Philadelphia Eagles team. I'm still rocking with Carson until I'm 100% proved wrong, because at the end of the day, I support the Shield. But right now, the Shield has him as our franchise starting quarterback. So I got to support it. But that's what I want to see. Come out with the run game and then sprinkle in some quick timing passes. Make sure Carson is on the move. Send him out on some bootlegs, on some play action, and let him be him. I love the mobility he showed in the Cincinnati Bengals game, getting out of the pocket, avoiding sacks, not being afraid to run for 5 or 10 yards when needed. I love that version. And he cannot throw the ball to the opposing team, which he's done too much this season. As long as Carson Wentz uses his timing routes, uses the run game, Doug Peterson rolls him out and calls a good game and sticks with the run and doesn't abandon it, I believe Carson Wentz will start to do some of his things. Make a throw to Zach Ertz, make a throw to John Hightower, maybe connect with Deshaun Jackson Long and start to feel the groove, and we'll come away with a W. It's not going to be easy because this 49ers team is well coached. I can't fully say that about our team. I can't fully say a lot of things about the Philadelphia Eagles. But with the injury bug really hurting the Niners, still hitting us, this is a chance to come out in this horrible division called the NFC East and make a statement against the San Francisco 49ers. And then from then, we go game by game, week by week, situation by situation, and see how the Eagles fare. Now, like I said, I've been predicting these scores, and I do believe the Eagles really have a chance to win this game, and I'm picking the Eagles to win in a close, hard-fought game Sunday night, the Battle of the IR. However, because we keep losing, I will not predict the score. Maybe in the live stream post game, I will predict the score, but feel free to let me know your score predictions in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the offense of the Eagles, the defense of the Eagles, the offense and the defense of the Niners, and some of the film you saw about Nick Mullins. And hopefully, Jimmy G don't try to come back, and some of these guys that are injured, they can come back in week 5. but let them be out for week 4. We need a win. Until next time, you guys know what time it is. And real quick, make sure you hit me up on Twitter. Follow your boy on Twitter. If you haven't, I would appreciate it if you checked out my Twitter. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.